plan to throw money at every possible problem. And we're joined now by South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford. Governor, reports you may take the money, you may not take the money. You going to take the money?
We'll find out. We got a team that's looking through it right now, and what's crazy is that bill that was, I guess put online around midnight on a Thursday night that the House and Senate ultimately voted on a Friday is something that ultimately was not debated, ultimately not vetted, and what governors across this country are doing is now having their teams go in and actually vet. And so, you got over 1,000 pages. We're trying to go through and see what works, what doesn't work. And what we're seeing so far is, one, in many cases there are a lot of strings attached. I mean, to be eligible for some of the unemployment funds, for instance, we would for the first time have to expand unemployment benefits in South Carolina to people who are part-time workers. Now, that's kind of a problem, one, because we've never done it before, but two, because that same group just went to the feds asking for a $140 million loan and then following it up with a $170 million loan. So in many cases, these are real catch-22s when you look under the hood at the way the system would work.
Governor, I see the quandary. I understand it completely, and not the least of which is that the citizens of South Carolina, they pay taxes. Their money is going to go to California. It's going to go to New York. It's going to go to all the states that have been fiscally irresponsible. Meanwhile, the people of South Carolina have been fairly fiscally responsible in all of this. So therein lies a dilemma for you because, fundamentally, on principle, you're against it.
Right, but again, I don't think that weds me to taking money or not to taking the money. We tried to make a stand as best we could as administration against what we thought was a fundamentally stupid idea that would ultimately damage the economy, damage the capitalistic system that has been the envy of the world here in America for a very long time, and stack up a bunch of debt on top of debt on our kids and grandkids coming down the line. That is where we have stood. Now we are at this point of going through vetting the bill, and we're not wed one way or the other because we've made the stand trying to stop it where we could.
Governor, let me ask you this. We just played this montage. This was just in one speech. 25 times he uses the word crisis. He uses the word catastrophe a lot. He said if we didn't pass the stimulus bill, I remember there was a lot of fear being used before we passed the TARP bill. That was just prior to the election. We always have to act immediately here. Do you think it's irresponsible, and what impact do you think it has on the psychology of the markets, and more importantly, what does the world think of the President of the United States talking the economy the way he is every day?
I'd say a couple things. Our respective grandfathers, I guess, talked about that notion of decisions made in fear generally aren't good decisions. You want to be a little bit more contemplative in making a decision. And so, one, frenzying people up into a feared state is not the way to pass legislation. Two, the idea of talking down the economy, I don't think is ever good. I mean, in other words, a lot of people have immigrated from a lot of other places around the globe to come to America because there's been economic opportunity here. And to dumb that down and to frighten people, again, I think to be counterproductive.
I guess for the average American sitting back here tonight, and I talked a lot about this on my radio show today, the people that get up every morning, shovel coffee down their throat, they give their kids a shower, they wash them up, they comb their hair, they send them out to school, they work 14 hours a day, they obey the laws, they play by the rules. Unlike the Obama administration nominees, they actually pay their taxes. Now, they're going to have to foot the bill and bail out. You like that, huh, Governor? They're going to have to pay the bill for the mortgages of people who are not responsible. And these banks were forced to make these loans by government because of redistribution policies. What do we say to all these people? They're on the hook to pay other people's mortgages. They can't take vacations.
You get to be the sucker at the birthday party in this kind of approach, because if you look at the bulk of all mortgages, in fact, they are being paid by the very people that you just allude to who are living by the rules. And there is a real moral hazard component, whether it's in states that have been relatively frugal, then having to bail out states that have been more generous, shall we say, in their spending, or individuals that have been more thrifty and really been watching the bottom line, have lived by the rules that you just described, having to bail out folks that haven't. So, yeah, I think that really begins to undermine the ultimate driver of our economy, which is individual initiative and those very folks that go out and place bets in the market based on a set of rules that are defined. Nobody has any idea what the rules are going forward.
It's amazing.
Based on one bailout after another after another.
Governors like yourself and Rick Perry and Governor Pawlenty and Governor Sarah Palin, you've been responsible. You'll be on the hook for the states that have been irresponsible. People that have been responsible with their mortgages, they'll be on the hook for people that were not as responsible, buying homes they couldn't afford with no chance of paying it back, and they never read the details, and now they're blaming everybody but themselves. But, Governor, we'll talk more about it. Thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And coming up, he is